fatalities, brutalities, unexpected deaths, and even some works moments. The new Mortal Kombat movie has a bit of everything. I have to say, and first warning, there are a spoiler ahead. But the movie was incredible. If you don't want to know too much yet, let me just say it's worth it. And enjoy the ride. It's definitely not a bad movie. In fact, it's a huge improvement over its predecessor. It captured that native vibe perfectly, acting a tribute to the old school fans while staging fresh for the new generation. It's a violent movie that somehow managed to make me laugh. And kept me hooked from the start to finish. So don't overthinking it. Run to the theater. Mortal Kombat needs our support if we want to see a third, fourth, and even fifth movie. It's clearly designed to build a massive franchise, just like the Avenger and the other DC movies. At the risk, of sounding like a grumpy, controversial old man, let's talk about the wokeness. I think this movie was definitely built with that in mind, right? The strong female lead who humiliated the man and always comes up on the top against the big macho bad villain. That seemed to be the general concept here. Luckily, Ed Boon and the team, because remember, James Gunn is a producer of this movie, actually handled it well. You can criticize me if you want, but my point is that they masked it brilliantly. Instead of giving off a preachy pamphlet, they build a genuinely powerful woman. Kitana is a great character. And here comes the spoiler, be careful, when Kitana manages to defeat Shao Kahn, the marketing sells Johnny Cage as the main lead. But in reality, he is a co-protagonist. Kitana is the true star here. Super clear that they manipulated this trailer for, show Johnny Cage as the star and all that, and at the end, Kitana is the true star. But if you are gonna follow this agenda and this work stuff, I think it's the best way to do it in this direction, because the movie works. But what do you think? Leave me in the comment. This is just my opinion. So guys, first off, the production value is great. It really transports you into the world of Mortal Kombat. We finally get the tournament, as it's meant to be, packed with tons of reference to the game moveset. The fights are absolutely incredible. The choreography and every single hit felt spun on. My favorite fight, hands down, was Liu Kang versus Kung Lao. It was brutal, and seeing those iconic game moves on the screen was absolutely hype. The story is simple but effective. A classic tale of revenge, redemption, and protecting the world from the darkness of Shao Kahn. The pacing is spectacular. It never gets boring. It had that native vibe I mentioned before, and I honestly had a blast. It's fast-paced, fun, and hear this, surprisingly unpredictable. Yes, for a blockbuster movie, that is crazy. But of course, the bad part are often the most fun to talking about. So I'm not hating on it, but there are things worth debating. While the set design is cool and features many iconic stage from the game, the CGI is a bit hit or miss in some scenes. The green screen is pretty obvious. And actually, I remember that they delayed the movie, so even with that, they didn't fix, this green screen in some scene. Unfortunately, you notice. And of course, it's not the whole movie, but some shots just look a bit fake. Also, a personal gripe. Too many action scenes happen in total darkness. It was a bit frustrating because I wanted to see the choreography, but I was so dark, I felt like I needed to turn out the brightness on the theater screen. Was something like, what happened here? I don't know, what the fuck? Something strange. And I get, that they might use shadow to hide some BFX imperfection. Actually, a better old school treat. And, I want to be first with the movie. And actually, it worked for something. For example, everything involving Liu Kang looks beautiful. Also, I really love this character. I really love the VFX and his power is absolutely amazing. Now back to the work. One thing they did was position Kitana as the ultimate powerful warrior and the new king of the realm. You know, as I said, they handled it well. I didn't feel like it was full until the very end. When she sitting there looking all powerful and invincible, and I saw what they were doing, the intention was super clear. But since it was basically just one frame at the end of the movie, it worked for me. And actually, I applaud how they balance without, letting the ideology take over the story. What do you think? Do you agree with me? On the other hand, Johnny Cage completely steals the show. And here's something interesting. You tell me if, it's a pro or can't. But I think they nailed the character chief. For example, Kano is usually a straight up villain, but they turned him into the comic relief. And actually, it worked perfectly. The whole theater was dying of laughter every time he was on screen. And then you had Sub-Zero becoming not Cyborg. It's a different take, and we lose the classic Sub-Zero. It's expand the roster. However, I had a major issue with Quan Chi, and this is where it gets serious because the mortal aspect of Mortal Kombat changed forever. For a movie called Mortal Kombat, it doesn't feel mortal at all. It felt more like Dragon Ball, and I know it's part of the lore, especially with Quan Chi involved. But having character die and then get resurrected every 10 minutes completely killed the stake. You see a major character die, and 10 minutes later they back. It made you go, wait, isn't this supposed to be a Mortal Kombat? What the hell? It really killed the emotional weight of the fight. Only for the poor Cole that nobody cared that character is fully died. But come on, man. So I'm still on the fence about the resurrection mechanics. On one hand, I love seeing this character back, especially seeing the formula work. Take Kano, for example. His jokes, were easily the best part of the movie. On the other hand, constant revival made the mortal aspect of the series feel a bit cheap. It's a love-hate relationship for me. And guys, I really like this version of Shao Kahn. Instead of being a cartoonish villain, they gave him a more human side with a clear motivation. He felt powerful, but not like a cliche. Actually, he died a lot in the movie. And, if they give this super immortal power and whatever, he will die, and I don't know, the middle of the movie was something great. And that was something super cool. Even Cole John, the protagonist that everyone loved to hate, has a super great death. They actually honored the character of the first movie because remember that he was the protagonist. And actually, he killed Shao Kahn. Actually, he did it. But remember, he had the immortality in that time, so he couldn't, finish him. So at the end, the Paul received the fatality mixed with brutality of Shao Kahn, but was super great and super honored the character of the first movie of Mortal Kombat. I really like that. And actually, little aspect about this movie, they actually mock about the old of Carl Urban. They say it's something like, this Johnny Cage is so old for this. So was a really great reference, talking about the cameo of Ed Boon, the legendary Ed Boon of Mortal Kombat was there. For me, the first movie was okay, but this sequel is excellent. My only fear is they ruin it by trying too hard to build a massive franchise. Actually, at the end of this movie, we had a crazy team for the third movie, an unexpected team up that you'll never see again in a Mortal Kombat. Actually, I don't know why. I know why. By this woke stuff, they didn't create Liu Kang as a protagonist, you know, was something like, hey, Liu Kang, I need to go now to say Kung Lao, bye. And was something like, what? Really? Come on. He is the protagonist. Why now? It was crazy, but wow. So, with this strange new Kinyo and Kano as a protagonist too, we will see what happened with the really fan of this franchise. Did you like that or not? What do you think? It is time to stop, or do you want a full cinematic universe? Let me know in the comments. I'm Wetex, and I'm gonna leave you my review of Daredevil Born Again, and I'll see you there.